What's up, guys? Joe, your caffeine or my caffeine? The stupid thumbnail picker. Alright, so in this video, what I want to talk to you guys about is something that can help you save some time. Right now, just to get it out of the way, I use Premiere Pro, which is what I'm using at the moment, but I like to believe that some of the shit I teach you with Premiere Pro can also be useful in other software, right? Even though I'm trying to show you some stuff through Premiere Pro, I feel like some of this information can help you regardless, right? So that being said, basically what I want to show you in this tutorial is that there's something that I use very often. It's called a transform filter, right? In my case, the transform filter will be the video effects in the distort folder. As right here, it's called just transform, right? I'm gonna select a section here for pod chatting, and I'm gonna drop in this transform filter, right? Now basically what a transform filter does is that it saves, instead of using like the values, let me get rid of this really quick. Say if I want to increase, if I want to do a close-up of Paul's face, right? I can like, go to scale, I can say do 200. Then I can move like the positioning to like center his face and all that stuff. And there you go, right? So I did all that manually by selecting the clip here, the little section that I cut out, then going to like the effects control, and then like adding like the values that I want for this particular section, right? In this case, I want it to be, him just kind of like a little zoom in, he's talking, and then boom, The thing is that like, when I'm doing videos such as tech news, there's a lot of like cut-ins I do with his video, right? And me doing that manually all the time can add up quickly, right? So I use the transform filter, this guy, to make a preset with those values that I want. And then pretty much every time I want to do like something like this, where I want to do like a punch in, I can just drop in this transform filter and it makes life a lot easier, right? So let me show you. So everything I just did here, I'm going to get the transform filter, drop it in here. And then here it has its own scale value. So I'm going to put 200. And here we have like the position value. So I'm going to move that. This one has two values. You have your anchor and your position, right? But for this tutorial, I'm just messing around with the position. So now I have that. Same thing, right? So now if I play this back, he's talking, and then boom. You got a close-up of his face, right? Now, the cool thing about the transform filter is that I'm able to create a preset out of like the values I just entered. That way, during the video, if I want to punch in into his face again, I'm able to do it, but just dropping in this preset, right, that I create. So in this case, I can right-click on the filter, say transform preset, and let's just say transform extreme close-up. Type that up. I hit OK. Now, usually with Premiere Pro, you have a presets folder here, and any preset that you created gets saved right there, right? So I'm gonna drop that down, and I'm gonna look for like the filter, the preset I just created. So it's transform extreme close-up, right? Now, usually what I like to do is that I create a new bin with like the filters that I use most often. So in this case, I'm gonna click and drag it and put it to my folder that I created. That way, all the filters that I usually use, they're all in here, so I can find them a lot quicker instead of like going through all these folders, right? It's just something to save time. So let's just say, let's delete this thing. And let's say, okay, this section, I want Paul's face to be zoomed in. I can go back here to my transform bin, my filters bin that I created. And then I go down here, and here is my preset that I just created. And I can click and drag and drop it. Boom, and there you go. So now I already have that close-up that I want without me, entering all the values again manually, like I did in the beginning of this video, right? So this saves me a lot of time when I'm editing pause videos, and if I need to punch in on something, then I use this filter to pretty much help me save some time, right? Now, the cool thing about this filter also is that you can also animate it, and it saves the animations, right? So, for example, let's hide that for a little moment. Let me drop in a couple pictures of myself here. Drop that one here. I'm gonna hide my camera for a while. So let me duplicate this guy. So, all right, so I got two images of myself here, right? The pink one here, it's on the left, and this green one is the one here on the right. Now, the cool thing about this transform filter, right? Let me go back to it. Go to video effects, distort, and then transform. All right, now I'm gonna select the one here on the left. Now, the cool thing about the transform filter, if I click and drag it, I'm able to animate this, right? So I just showed you you're able to like change the position and use the scale values here to adjust like the overall values of the video clip or image that you select or you drop this transform filter in. You are able to animate this by using the time watch here, right? So in this case, I'm gonna go to the beginning. This guy selected. I'm gonna click on rotation. Then basically, let's go to the end. And then I'm just gonna just do some crazy values, right? Go really fast. So now if I play this back, I got an animation going of my image spinning, right? Now, the cool thing about this is that, again, you are able to save this as a preset. But the cool thing about this method is that when you save a preset, the animation adjusts itself to the length of the clip, right? So you don't have to worry about your animation ending too early or ending too late, right? Depending on the length of your clip, it's gonna adjust the animation according to the length of the clip, right? So let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm gonna save this, save preset, transform. Let's just say rotate and animation. I'm gonna save this. And again, this gets saved up here to the presets folder. I'm gonna here this transform rotate animation. And again, I'm gonna click and drag this to my most used filter bin that I create. So if I delete this, I'm gonna extend this guy really long and I can make this guy really short, right? I'm able to select both of these images and I can click and drag the filter, transform rotate animation on top of these guys in the timeline. I let go. Now the cool thing is that the animation that we created, the keyframes, they adjust according to the length of the clip, right? So this one we shortened it. So as you can see here, the rotations, the keyframes that adjusted from the beginning to the end of the clip. Same thing with the longer one. If the keyframes, it kind of adjusts itself according to the length of the clip that we select, right? So that's pretty cool. So now if I play this back, yeah, as you can see here, pretty much this one goes all crazy because it's shorter, and this one goes slower because it's slower, right? Now, if you were to say you want this to be a little longer, then you just extend this out. You kind of have to select this, and then pretty much you have to manually drag out the keyframe. It's not that big of a deal, right? But pretty much, like I said, the cool thing about using this filter, the transform filter, is you are able to add animations, stuff like this. If you want to zoom in on something really quick, if you want to zoom out, stuff like that. That's something I do a lot with pause videos also recently. I don't know, let's say he just says something that, he's confused or something. So something I started doing is that I would shrink the image a little bit. Kind of be like, huh? What the fuck did I just say? Same thing. Go to video effects, go to the distort, transform. Just do a quick little shrink, right click, say preset, transform, just say shrink. Go up to the presets, transform shrink. Put this in my most used filters folder for easy access. And now basically, again, it's transform shrink. Boom. There you go. So it's a lot easier. It's a lot quicker. You put in the values that you use often in your videos. You create a preset using this filter, and it pretty much, it saves you headaches, right? You can combine them also, right? So, I just added the shrink filter, and I don't know, let's just say I want to add the rotation. I can just drop that in there. And there you go. Just, going crazy. And I guess you want to, if it's too fast, you can just stretch this out, and then in your effects controls, stretch out the keyframes, and there you go. Yeah, and I didn't have to redo all that sequence of me manually adjusting the scales and adding keyframes and all that crap. I could just use the transform filter here, create a preset, and then I just drop it into my clips whenever I need them. And it saves me a lot of time, so that's something I do a lot with primarily pause tech news videos. I've been doing that a lot. So anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So if this video is helpful, then there'll be some QR codes here. That way you guys can hook it up with a coffee if you guys want. If you guys can, no problem. I'm gonna continue making my videos because I enjoy sharing what I know. And thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. Really appreciate it. More videos coming. Take care. Peace.